Adam claimed Social Security at 62. He thought the decision was about him. He died 14 years later. Then his wife opened an envelope. Her check for the rest of her life was 30% smaller than it had to be. She lived another 19 years on that number. Adam never saw it. He wasn't in the room when it landed, and the paperwork that did it took him one afternoon. This is a video about a number you set exactly once. You cannot change it. You cannot appeal it. And it pays you, or fails to pay you, every month until the day you die. Two men, Adam and Noah. Same job, same earnings record, same health, same everything. Adam claimed at 62. Noah waited. By 90, the gap between them is $246,000. But the gap is not the interesting part. Why Adam chose is. Because Adam wasn't lazy, and he wasn't broke. He was answering a question that should never have been asked. If you have ever looked at a Social Security statement and felt like the whole thing was designed to confuse you, drop the age you're planning to claim in the comments. Just the number. So picture the room. Adam is 62, freshly out of a job, watching income stop for the first time in 40 years. Someone slides a form across a desk and asks him one question. Do you want to start now or wait? He has no idea that the question itself is the problem. Now here's what nobody tells you about that room. The largest single group claiming at 62 is not the people who cannot wait. It's the people who could. People with savings, a paid-off house. Every reason on paper to wait 8 years for a permanently larger check. They looked at the same form Adam did and signed the same line. If this were about need, the pattern would look different. It doesn't. Something happens inside the decision itself before the math ever gets done. The reason has a name, and you've met it before on this channel. Loss aversion. A loss hurts roughly twice as much as an equal gain feels good. Look at what waiting actually asks of Adam. Give up a real check arriving next month in exchange for a larger check later. Every month he waits, he watches money he was entitled to not arrive. His brain does not file that as an investment. It files it as a loss. 8 times a year for 8 years. Waiting does not feel like patience. It feels like bleeding. And it's not abstract. Adam has seen the statement, $2,969 available now, with his name on it. Every month he waits, that money doesn't go into savings. It simply doesn't arrive. 96 months of watching that. 96 deposits that never land. And there's a second circuit underneath it. The benefit at 70 is abstract. It's a number on a statement for a version of him that doesn't exist yet. The check at 62 is concrete. It clears. He can spend it Tuesday. His brain prices the concrete thing at a premium and marks the abstract one down. The rules are simpler than the industry pretends. Full retirement age is 67. Claim there, you get 100%. Claim at 62, and it's cut by 30% permanently. Wait until 70, and it grows to 124. Not estimates. Under current rules, exact. Now watch what those two circuits do to the question Adam gets asked. This is the part almost nobody catches. Ask anyone about claiming age, and within 30 seconds, you'll hear the same word. Break even. The age at which waiting finally pays off. For 62 versus 70, it lands around 82. So the question becomes, are you going to live past 82? And now, Adam is gambling. He's placing a bet on his own death date, with a number he can never recalculate. That framing is the trap. Not the math, the framing. Because Social Security is not an investment. It's one of the only sources of income in your life that never runs out, adjusts with inflation, and cannot be outlived. In technical terms, that makes it longevity insurance. And you don't buy insurance hoping the bad thing happens. You don't calculate the break-even on your fire policy and cancel it because the house hasn't burned down yet. Insurance is not a bet you win. It's a bet you're relieved to lose. So flip the question. Not, will you live long enough for this to pay off? Ask, which outcome cannot be recovered from? Die at 75 having waited, and you left money on the table. But you're dead, and it did not hurt you. Live to 93 having claimed at 62, and you spend your last decade on a check that's 30% smaller than it had to be, at exactly the age when you have no way left to earn. Those two errors are not the same size. One is a rounding error in an estate. The other is 15 years of a smaller life. And the numbers are not close. A 62-year-old American man can expect to live to about 83. A woman, about 85. The break-even is 82. The average person already clears it, and half of everyone lives longer than the average. And one detail inside the delay almost nobody explains. That 8% a year isn't a market return you're hoping for. It's written into the statute. It arrives whether stocks rise or fall. Nowhere else in an ordinary person's finances is a government-backed 8% simply sitting there, unclaimed. Which is why the plan people reach for, take it at 62 and invest it, rarely works. To beat that credit, you'd need over 8% after tax in a portfolio you're also spending from at an age when most people move towards safety. But return to Adam's wife, because this is the part he never priced at all. When one spouse dies, the survivor keeps the larger of the two benefits. So, the higher earner is not choosing their own income. They're setting the floor under their spouse's income for every year that spouse outlives them. Adam's decision took an afternoon. It paid his wife for 19 years. Run it forward. Had Adam waited until 70, her survivor benefit would have been the larger number, indexed to inflation, for all 19 years. That's not a rounding error. It's the gap between comfortable and careful, repeated 228 times. And here's what makes it worse. Adam would have agreed. If someone had put it in front of him as a question about her instead of a question about him, he almost certainly waits. Nobody framed it that way. The form doesn't have a line for it. Analysts call this one of the most underappreciated parts of the timing decision. That's a polite way of saying almost nobody knows it exists. Now, honesty matters here, because claiming at 62 is genuinely correct for some people, and anyone who tells you otherwise is selling something. If you have a serious health condition or a family history that puts your realistic expectancy below the break-even, claiming early collects more total money. That's arithmetic, not fear. If you have no other income and the alternative is credit card debt, take the check. Debt at 20% beats an 8% delayed credit, every time. So the answer is not always 70. The point is that it should be a decision made with the real frame. For most people, it is neither. Which brings us to what Noah did differently. Not willpower and not better math. 3 moves, all mechanical, and the first one takes 10 minutes. 1. Pull the actual statement, not an estimate, not a memory. Log into your Social Security account and read the 3 numbers on it. Your benefit at 62, at full retirement age, and at 70. Most people have never seen all 3 side by side. 2. Change the question you're answering. Stop asking how long you'll live. Ask which mistake you can survive. If your worst case is dying with money unclaimed, that's a good worst case. If your worst case is being 88 with a check that's 30% short, that is not recoverable. 3. If you're married, run the survivor number before your own. The higher earner's claiming age outlives both of you. Decide it as a couple, in writing, before anyone is anxious about a mortgage payment. Because the version of you sitting in that office at 62, freshly out of a job, is the worst possible one to make a permanent decision. Adam did not make a bad investment. He answered a question nobody should have asked him. He was told to bet on how long he would live, when the actual choice was which failure he could afford to leave behind.